What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, it's the end of the year. Usually people are doing their the year in review, blah, blah, blah stuff. Not me. I want to do a state of the consoles type of thing. Just off the top, roughly speaking, strategy, where we see the future is, right? And we see that, I mean, this has been happening for a while as far as a product in more places gets more people. I mean, it's like common sense. It's like if you make a product and it's in a Walmart and Aldi and Sam's Club and Costco and BJ's and Target and it's all the stores, you're probably going to sell more product. Just saying. The more places it is available, the more people will partake, right? It's the same thing with when Sony had Helldivers 2 out, right? And they released it without that PSN restriction thing, mandatory sign up, right? And then when they implemented it, they lost 100 and something territories, which is, I would say, millions of players, right? If you have 100 times whatever. I'm like, why would you do that? I don't know if it's millions to play, but it's a lot of countries, a lot of territories means a lot of players, and a lot of people were upset. I mean, of course, rightly so. And so you look at the different instances where having your product in more places benefits everyone. Benefits the player, the customer. It benefits the corporation, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. It benefits the studio. Not really, because they're getting paid regardless, but I'm just saying. Benefits everyone. Now, this whole rhetoric about exclusivity and, oh my gosh, Microsoft's going third party, Sony's going PlayStation going third party. They've been third party for a minute, but you just want to ignore that because it's convenient. And the whole idea kind of latching on to this console exclusivity and only, Xbox is the only place to play Xbox games and same thing with PlayStation. It's like, it's something that has been inbred, I would say, or bred into these certain type of players. King would call them low IQ individuals. Sure. And it is apparent because you're looking at it and you're looking at the Tim Dog. Sorry, Tim Dog, you just happen to fall into that category because of your actions. And King's right. The dummies out there will cry and they'll say all these things, and they don't look at the big picture. They get their feelings hurt because they're not smart. they're in their feels because they're not thinking. They're not thinking, if I had my way, PlayStation would be the ruler and they would have, and then consoles would be over $1,000. Games would be over $100. The video game market would crash, basically, because it would be unsustainable. Because that's how Sony wants to just be the only competitor in a space, which doesn't make any sense. And so, their thinking and their way and their ideas don't work. And I'm surprised it has taken this long for this kind of idea to germinate into the hardware console space, the console product space, let's just say. Because, yes, they tried it back in the day with the 3DO and stuff, and that didn't work because one reason why. Too expensive. Well, it's a couple of reasons, but the main thing, it was too expensive, and it was too many. It was like, how? Okay, so if I make a 3DO game, all these things can play it. I only need to make one game, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's how it worked. But in the jump off was that it was a product that nobody wanted. The games weren't all that. They were kind of whack, And I mean, it's a bunch of things that happened with the 3DO that made it a failure, The PlayStation, I keep calling it, that's the wrong name. The PisterTech 5 Potato. If it wasn't a PlayStation, it would be a giant turd bomb failure. Kind of like Concord. See, if Concord was a Killzone themed game, it might have lived. It might have. Killzone, maybe not. Maybe if it was an Uncharted sci-fi game, that makes no sense. But let's just 1,000 years in the future, Nathan Drake's great grandkid is hunting treasures across the galaxy. You know, maybe it would have been. They'd have slapped a different name on it. Maybe it would have been accepted more better. Anyway, the whole console roadmaps. Roadmap's a bad word because PlayStation hasn't given a roadmap. But the roadmap that I'm talking about is more of the console, the hardware stuff, not so much the games. You know, we know Microsoft, Xbox, they got a roadmap. They got Google Maps roadmap. They got Bing Maps. There's more Bing Maps, really. They got Bing Maps roadmap. I think, is Bing Maps more? I'm trying to remember. I know Google Maps has the 3D stuff, but I think Bing Maps has I'm trying to remember which one has a higher resolution. I think Bing Maps you can get in closer. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But I do like Google Maps with the 3D stuff. That's kind of dope. It doesn't do everything. It does only a couple cities. Or anyway, Microsoft, Xbox, they have a roadmap. Sony, PlayStation, they don't have a roadmap. I mean, they do internally. Obviously, they have to. But they haven't shared it with the public because it's probably sparse. And they don't like to say a lot of things. And if you it's kind of to their detriment. I think Microsoft says a little bit too much sometimes. And they're trying to communicate. They're trying to talk to the customer base, which is admirable. It's like, okay, cool. You're talking to us. Good. We want to know stuff. But Sony's like, zip, right? Concord 2, the intergalactic prophet of the bald-headed lady girl with scars on her scalp, dropped. And nobody liked it. I mean, some people were like, yeah, it's cool sci-fi, yay. And some people are like, this is why all my guys, woke, go broke, bloggity, right? And I'm like, okay, all right, sure. And the bad thing, this is why when Sony's being quiet, it's a bad thing. They need to put some gag orders and some lassos on these fools, because homegirl, whatever her name, I can't remember her name. Gabrielle, something Gabrielle. I can't remember her name. She's a beautiful lady, by the way, beautiful girl. And a few pictures of her actual live person picture, and I saw her in that interview talking about the future is now and all that stuff, and like everything she said was fine. It was cool. It's like, yeah, okay, yes, we need to be more accepting. Everybody need to chill, stop being hating, stop being prejudiced. Blah, blah, blah. I wish the world was like that too, but it's not. Okay, and so when she reposted that art with Siri and her character Jordan drinking the whatever tea, masculinity and the DEI-licious and all that stuff, I was like, that's I mean, inherently that's funny. Yeah, it's a funny like little piece of art, and then, like how they the wordplay, it's funny. Subjectively looking at it, I mean objectively looking at it, it's funny, but in the context of how it's used, it's still funny. In the context of how it's used, it's not funny because she is representing a product and a company. And I'm pretty sure Sony and PlayStation don't appreciate the backlash that is happening because of her post. Of course, she deleted it, but the internet never forgets. I'm surprised. I mean, she's younger than I am. How does she not know that that's not going to live forever? She going to delete it. Nah, that's not how you should know these things. So I'm like, you should have kept that one to yourself, girl. And she put, you mad, bro. I'm like, it's unnecessary. And you're angering a segment. I don't know what the percentages of people who, I don't know I mean, there are some racists and bigots and all that stuff, right, that are gamers. Let's be real. And then there are people who are like, I'm not any of those things, but I don't want to be preached to. That's them. And then there's people who are on that side, DEI, equality, and all that stuff. Which, I mean, I think all of us should have a little bit of that. You know, should be. You know, but as far as an entertainment, something that is video games, which is inherently an escapist medium. I know it's matured, it's been around for a minute, so it can be more than just that, sure. But I think like that whole thing with the actress and that post and the messaging there, plus the baggage that Neil Druckmann drags along with him, because he was a proponent of Anita Sarkeesian, who was toxically, I don't know if she was a toxic feminist, but she was very anti-man or anti, I don't want to say status quo, because that's not quite, that's not as nuanced as it should be. But she was kind of the beginning, the genesis of all this DEI stuff, like her movement. I don't know what she's doing now, but. And so that baggage, Neil Druckmann, he's making this game, Naughty Dog, plus her, and it's like, okay, I don't know, is it necessary to bring these political type of leanings or preachings to games? No, it's not, obviously. But it is his choice. And it's his choice to be like, yo, y'all can say whatever y'all want, you can post whatever y'all want, we don't care. Freedom of speech, baby. Hey, and they don't have to, you know, they have to deal with the backlash and the repercussions. A couple of easy fix, like, you know, there's something wrong with your character design and stuff when you go on YouTube and there's plenty of videos saying, I'm a 29-year veteran of Marvel Comics. I'm gonna redesign this character. It's only happened for 2 games so far that I've noticed recently. First game, Concord. Second game, Intergalactic, bald-head lady. So I didn't even watch the second one, because I'm gonna be real. Her character design, inherently, there's nothing wrong with it. Once again, she's a beautiful lady. The person that the character is modeled after. I understand she's in space, probably doesn't wear makeup. That's fine. But the choice to have her shave her head, I'm sure is a story thing with that. But for that to be the first thing to show would kind of make people mad, right? Or some people. I mean, I think like her, the actress that the model is based off of is very beautiful. And I've only seen her with hair. I haven't seen her without hair. She has a nice shaped head, which is good. You don't want no big, long, alien head person that's like, oof, put some hair or something on. But but I would say that if that is a story element, make it part of the story. Or I would say, like, have her have a little bit. I'm not saying have long flowing. No, that's impractical in space. Like, she can have a short haircut, a pixie, not a pixie, but, you know, something comparable, short, couple of inches. You know, that's cool. Doesn't have to look like a man haircut, a butch haircut, a boy haircut. It could be a very nice, tasteful, short haircut. You know, doesn't matter if she is lesbian or queer or whatever, or any of the letters of the LGBTQ plus. I don't know what all of them are, but it doesn't matter. It's about attractive people. Attractive people come in all different types of flavors, and when I say flavors, I mean appearance-wise, and also, you know, what their preference is. So you've seen very attractive lesbians, right? I've seen them. I was like, wow, okay. It's bad for the hetero side, I guess. People like saying cis, I say hetero. Because she don't like us. Oh, well, there's other beautiful people out there to holler at or whatever, to court. So, that's not an issue as far as how they could have made her look. I mean, the choice is an artistic choice. Now, the second thing I was going to say is that if it is a story thing and she shaved her head for some people say, oh, it's because she's hiding out because she's trying to stay low and be undercover or whatever, trying to hide from what. I'm like, okay, I don't think that's working, because you saw the picture where she actually had some hair when she was with the group, the Super Five or whatever they call. She's like hunting the group that she used to be a part of. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, so if she shaves her head, right, if that's the beginning of the game, then I would say she doesn't have access to her razor or something because she's stuck on the planet and probably doesn't have any power, or I don't know, she crashes or somebody steals her ship. I don't know how she gets stuck on this planet, but she's stuck on the planet. She got to find her way out, right? So I would say, fine, she can't cut her hair no more. Let it grow. Like, the longer you're in the game, the longer the hair grows. That would be, if that happens in the game, then I'm like, you know what? Everything I said before, forget about it, because that's kind of cool. That is like even though that has no bearing on the actual gameplay, it's just a aesthetic look, but it's still it's part of the immersion, if you will. It's like if you're playing a game for 100,000 hours and in game you're a month, the hair's gonna grow. I need a haircut after a week. You know what I'm saying? So, if that happens, then I'm like, all right, cool. But anyway, I'm getting too in the weeds with the intergalactic. So, well, anyway, that's what I wanted to say about that. But the overall kind of movement or the projection or the future forecast for PlayStation and Xbox, right? You look at, let's just say Xbox first, right? You look at Xbox, they got all these studios. They got 30-something studios pumping out games. They're putting out Indiana Jones. Nobody thought Indiana Jones was going to be good. Boom. Everybody love it. You know what I'm saying? Even though it missed the Keegleys or whatever, even though it missed the Kegels, still going to win something. Your boy, Troy Baker, he going to win next year. Voice act, he going to win. I don't care what everybody... He won already. I played the game before the game. I was like, that's not Troy. It's Indiana Jones, man. That's Indiana Jones. I'm playing the game. I'm like, do I hear Troy? Nope, I don't hear Troy. He did his thug thizzle. I'm like, yo, I never would have thought that I would hear a perfect rendition of a character, fictional character from a movie. That's crazy. That's like somebody doing a Star Wars movie with young Luke and doing his voice like perfect. Although I think Troy Baker could probably do it since he did the Joker. Anyway, so Microsoft has the studios. They have the content, right? They have that. Now, it has to be good, sure. But let's assume that most of it's good. Actually, since Redfall, I don't think they put out a bad game. I don't think so. And that was like the remnants of okay, we ain't doing that no more. And like, if Indiana Jones is any indication, boom, I'm looking at Avowed. I'm like, that looks good. I'm looking at Outer Worlds. I'm like, that looks good. All these games are actually looking like next gen games as opposed to on PlayStation, because they're still trying to adhere to the PlayStation 4. Anyway, so Microsoft has the games, they have the studios, they have the content, and this whole change in how they're approaching consoles. They're changing. They're veering away from the old way, because the old way is not sustainable anymore. The old way dictates that, you build a console, you take a loss on a console to sell your games. That's fine in a smaller industry. Back when the NES or the NES and Sega Master, Genesis, Super Nintendo, stuff like that. Back when sure, because it was just them two. It was a smaller market. It wasn't a multi-billion-dollar market like it is now. It might be going close to $1 trillion. I don't know, but it's way bigger than it used to be. It's so big that the games are producing content outside of video games that are being successful. Look at Sonic. Sonic 3 just dropped. Everybody's loving it. You make a good movie, boom, good to go. So I'm looking at everything that Microsoft is doing, everything Xbox is doing, and I'm like, okay, I have no problem with them doing multi-consoles. I have no problem with them doing a spec, and Lenovo, Samsung, whoever else makes it. I mean, I would appreciate and prefer if Xbox makes their own bespoke hardware to be in with all these other options. But if that's not the case, then I'll see what's out there, and I'll choose. And it's just it's the same. I make the same argument, like, yo, Netflix. I said this before. I'm not even gonna repeat it. But anyway, it doesn't matter where you get the content as long as you get the content. Like Netflix. You watch it on your phone, you watch it on your tablet, you watch it on your fridge, you watch it on your bathtub. I don't even know if bathtubs have, they probably have some bathtubs with TVs on it. Refrigerators, toaster, I don't care what, TV, you can watch it on that too. Watch it on the radio in your car, watch it everywhere. Does Netflix care where you watch freaking The Witcher? No, just watch it. That's what Microsoft's doing. That was the last video, but that's what's up. And that is it's smart. It's business smart. It's like, yes, we're going to have a percentage of the fan base hating on it, but the percentage of the fan base that hates on that idea doesn't matter. I hate to say it, but they don't matter, because the percentage that are buying these things, the percentage that made PlayStation sell as many consoles as they have, don't care, because they're not buying Sony's games. They're buying Call of Duty. They're buying Football Club. They're buying Fortnite. Fortnite's free. They're buying Minecraft. They're buying these games. They're not buying God of War. They're not buying Concord, because you can't, because it's a failure. They're not buying none of that stuff. And that's what Microsoft is looking at it, and they're seeing it. And they've been, for a while, they've been, for the most part, they've been ahead of the game. Like with Kinect and stuff, they were ahead of the game. It was a response to the Wii stuff. But the second iteration with having a camera and you talking to stuff, everybody got that now. Everybody has a freaking speaker with Siri on it. Like, hey, play this, right? Everybody, it's nomenclature. It's just not nomenclature. It's just normal. It's ubiquitous. They were early. And people are like, no. And I think that might have been the beginning of the Xbox tax. Because I think they were just like hating on it because it was Microsoft, not so much that it was a speaker and all that stuff. Spying on you. Meanwhile, your phone. Anyway, it's a dumb argument, and I think that has something to do with it. But anyway, so now Microsoft sees the future, right? And they're applying that business model that has been successful for Fortnite, Minecraft, all these other games that are everywhere. Call of Duty. All these games making millions and billions of dollars every year. Consistently, 4 years. Minecraft's literally like 10 years. They closed that deal 10 years ago. It's still going. People are still playing Minecraft. Little kids are graduating from beep boop boop playing like on toys to Minecraft beep boop boop. It's still happening. So like the whole model of Nintendo, how they like have these kid games and this is the kids' first console and all that stuff. That's what Minecraft is for a lot of kids too. It's their first kind of game, like open world survival game, if you will. And then from there they graduate probably to Roblox, and from Roblox they probably graduate to Fortnite. There's a lineage, there's a way, there's a kind of path for these kids that are coming up. And Microsoft sees that. And Epic sees that. Sony doesn't see that. I mean, they might see it now. They got Astrobot, but Astrobot isn't one of those games. It's an old school platformer that borrows about a bunch of Nintendo tropes, if you will. But it's not a foundational evergreen game. You're not going to be playing Astrobot for 10 years like Minecraft. This is kind of the flaw in Sony's kind of philosophy and how they make games. They make good games, yes. Business-wise, they have not made a game that can sustain their business. They haven't invested in that. They tried with Helldivers, and it was people are liking it, yeah. And then they go and ruin it. They say, you got PSN, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Why would you do that? I understand why, but why? Is that more important than actually having the number of people in there to, I don't know, buy some skins, buy some Killzone skins, which I heard was real bad. I heard that DLC was kind of garbage. I think SkillUp said it was dumb, or I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, so Microsoft is paving the way for a broader industry, if you will, and we'll see what happens to CES or Jason Ronald and Lenovo and Valve and all that stuff. I think what's going to happen is there might be a couple of things that happens, right? Jason Ronald, VP of the future of the world. I don't know what it's of next gen. That's what his title is. I think he's going to announce the lighter version of Xbox that'll work on the Legion Go or the Legion. Which is the Legion? The Legion S Go S. I don't know what the lower powered one that they're making, the cheaper one. But I think he's either going to do that. I think they've been working on that for a while, or they're going to talk about. Well, I know Lenovo is going to have a Valve, basically a Steam Deck version of the Steam Deck made by them. They'll probably have that. I think Jason Ronald will have a lighter version of whatchamacallit that works on the Go, on the Lenovo handhelds. And maybe Microsoft and Valve have something going on. Maybe they say, oh yeah, and this Xbox app or whatever, Xbox Super Easy Mode, whatever it's called, also available on the Steam Deck and Lenovo. It's everywhere. Play everywhere. It's not play anywhere anymore. It's play everywhere. They changed it. I was like, oh, that's kind of slick. Play everywhere. All right. So Microsoft, play everywhere. They're doing the handheld thing. Like I said, I would like Microsoft to make their own handheld. I think they will. And the main reason I want them to make it is because hopefully, I mean, the possibility is there that they will subsidize it, so it'll be a little bit cheaper than the competition. But I think Microsoft makes really good hardware. They do. Ever since the Surface Team came up, I don't know what it was after the 360. And I would say, I mean, the Xbox One was fine. It was just, they were just being conservative and safe. But after the Xbox One X, forget about it. They have leapfrogged PlayStation as far as hardware goes. I mean, in a way, I think Mark Cerny's been very smart. He's a smart dude, so I ain't gonna take that away from him. But they've been very smart about how they leverage, and I don't want to say that because it's not exactly true. Because PlayStation 5 regular amateur it has some faster things in here and there, but ultimately the Xbox Series X is more powerful. It's a better machine. Period. Regardless of what the games come out as, because we all know why that is, because the developers weren't utilizing the Xbox, just like how they're not utilizing the PlayStation 5 Pro. I mean, the PisterTech 5 Potato. Anyway, I'm sorry, I said that before. But anyway, so the Xbox roadmap or the Xbox trajectory is more, I think, optimistic, and it has more I guess opportunities for just variation, development, and success, because you don't have all your eggs in one basket, which is, there's the console. If you don't like it, too bad. That's what you get. Like, no, I want to play it on my PC. All right, go ahead. I don't want to play it on the handheld. Go ahead. I want to buy the box. Okay, go ahead. You want to play it on my Samsung? Okay, go ahead. Look, if you got a product, you want to sell it to more people, that's what you got to do. PlayStation is starting to learn that. PlayStation will eventually follow. And that's the whole thing. That's why these low IQ individuals, as King says, are just looking foolish right now, because we as a collective, the people who have IQ points, we see it happening. we see Sony doing the same thing. They're 10 years behind, 5 years behind, but Microsoft did this in the teens, right? They were like, oh yeah, we're gonna put our games on PC. Everybody's crying, oh my gosh, why do I need to buy an Xbox? I just buy it on PC, right? That was the ponies. Now, the ponies and the donkey unicorns, they're going through the same thing that Microsoft went through in the teens. Now, 10 years later, they're doing the same thing. Sony's doing the same thing, putting it on PC, day and date, put it on the Switch. What do I need a PlayStation for? Just put it on, get it on PC. And if that's happening now, you don't think more games are gonna come? If Horizon, Lego Ho of the Horizon show comes to Xbox, I mean, I'm not gonna buy it because I heard the game was trash. And I don't really like Lego games anyway. But I think Luke Stevens said it. He said, "Yo, this was a cool game. How could you mess this up? Lego and robot dinosaurs, how could you mess this up?" And they figured out a way to mess it up. And I was like, oh. I mean, it looked like a Lego game, but I heard, I don't know. I don't know why it's so bad, but it is. I'll take your word for it. Because, I mean, people usually don't poo-poo on Lego games because they're Lego. Regardless of I guess the IP does matter. I guess Horizon is the lesser of all the Lego IPs that they've kind of co-opt with or joined forces. Anyway, so Microsoft's trajectory is very promising, and it's like so many opportunities to, like, it depends on whatever type of game you are, there's probably something in there for you. And that's like the main thing, right? So now we look at PlayStation, we look at Sony. I know I'm going long, but hear me out. We look at PlayStation, we look at Sony, and they're stuck on their console. They're stuck on the console. They're stuck in that mentality. Buying exclusives. Trying to lure people to their console. And they don't realize that the next generation, the kids, the Alpha, Omega, whatever they are, generation, they don't buy consoles. They have phones that they're playing games on right now. And when they get off the phone, they're going to go to either a tablet or a laptop. Because literally that's what they use at school. They use laptops for schoolwork. So what do you think they're going to do with those laptops? They're going to play games. That's what they're going to do. There's nowhere in that equation is there a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox. Maybe a Switch because you could throw it in the bag and be at lunchtime, beep, beep, boop. But there ain't no big old PlayStation, Pisser Tech Station 5 Potato in their backpack with a TV and a freaking solar array to get power to that. I'm just saying. Microsoft sees it. Nintendo, they're in there already because they made a handheld. I think they may have seen it before because that's basically their demographic. So they're like, okay, they like the tablet, so we gotta, they kind of put two and two together, and it was I think it was a little bit of luck, but a lot of bit of kind of excuse, and the Wii U was a super failure. So I think they like, yeah, people like the tablet, so let's just make that. But Sony is not they're not getting it. They made the Portal, right? And it's like people like it, but it's like it's not I mean, you don't need a PlayStation now. You can just stream your games to it, but it's still not the same. It's not native. And they've made portables before, but they don't get it. They don't understand. They don't get it, and whatever. So, and they don't have as many IPs. They don't have as many games coming out. I mean, they have a couple of games that may be interesting, but once again, they're for a certain demographic. They're not for kids. Astrobot was their only saving grace, and there's not another Astrobot coming out soon, is there? I don't know. But you got freaking, you got Space Lady, Spaceball Head Lady. She's coming out, whenever that is. And then you got, what other games? I don't even remember. Ghost of Yote. Not a kids game. Not a kids game. I'm not saying that it's all kids game, but they don't have a very diverse lineup in their IPs. I mean, let me say, in the IPs that they are releasing, they don't have a very diverse lineup. They could put out a new Parappa the Rapper or something like that, or they could within the style of freaking Ratchet and Clank or something. I mean, Ratchet and Clank is pretty close too as far as a kids game, but it's like a more of a tween game, right? So they have IP that they can accommodate that, but they don't want to. It's all Guerrilla. It's all Herman Holtz. He's leading the flavor of the games, and if it ain't on Decima, you could just kick rocks. that's what I'm seeing. It's all Guerrilla stuff. Do they have any other? They have Killzone and Horizon, right? That's it. They need some new IP because that's all Herman Holtz is pushing. Anything that Guerrilla touches. So, but anyway, sorry I went long, but in short, Xbox's trajectory is a little more promising than Sony's trajectory. They're lacking. They're lagging. Do not mention console sales because that is irrelevant now. Because if you're not making money, if you're not making more profit than your competitor, and you sold twice as many consoles, something's wrong. Something's not mathing out. So you can't use that metric anymore because it's not beneficial to your argument. But yeah. Well, I mean, we're gonna see. But I think that the promise of what Xbox is doing has me excited because I'm like, oh shoot, man, they could be making this, they could be making that. I mean, of course there could be disappointment in there too, but I'm like, I'm kind of like, I'm wondering what they're gonna do. I want to know what I'm gonna have so many choices and options. Like, what am I gonna buy? A buffet of video game consoles. Let's go. Meanwhile, you go to a freaking PlayStation side, and you in a no frills section. Everything got the same label. Y'all don't know about no frills. That was Pathmark. It's like a white box with a little red blue stripe. Yo, it's the PlayStation colors, man. Anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out. Like and subscribe. Hit me up in the comments below. What y'all think about, like, what do you think Xbox is going as far as their console plans, their platform plans, let's just say that, and what Sony has in store, their PlayStation plans, which, who knows. But anyway, I appreciate, and I'll tell you on the next one too. Wait.